us in, man.
Hey, welcome to IoT Coffee Talk. Today, we are broadcasting live from the Milken Institute conference in beautiful Beverly Hills, California.
Oh, yeah.
How's it going, Leonard?
Oh, man, this is a really cool conference, and it's a really rare privilege, to hang out here and rub elbows with some of the most influential people in the world, I suppose. I mean, I just saw Deepak Chopra.
Wow.
Yeah, and he gave a talk. He was on a panel about Metaverse.
The Metaverse. Wow.
The Metaverse. Yeah, it's a big thing. It's a big thing even here. So yeah, it's really cool.
Wow, Deepak. So, did you guys do any meditation or anything like that together? No.
Dude, they have friggin' yoga. Yeah, at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm not staying at the hotel here because it's something like $10,000 a night. It's ridiculous. So right. I'm at a Motel 6.
Yeah, whatever that is. Motel 6 in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and I take an Uber X. Okay, I don't take the black.
Okay.
Because in LA here, man, it costs like $20 to go one block.
One block.
You might as well just walk right in your suit. And,
yes.
Yeah.
And Barry, you were looking really dashing in a suit and tie. I don't know if you've ever been in a suit on Coffee Talk before. This is very impressive.
No, this is super ridiculous. Isn't this ridiculous? Oh my God.
Are you about to go get a job working on Wall Street or something?
No, I've been there, done that. I remember I applied to Goldman Sachs in Tokyo. Yeah. And it's one of those stories. It was no, not quite. This is my Jack Ma story, right? You know how Jack Ma tried to, he tried to get into, I think he tried to get into Harvard 100,000 times or something. That's my story. I tried to get into Goldman Sachs and, I made one attempt and didn't quite make it. So, no hard feelings,
That's all right.
And I eventually just got into consulting, which I just freaking love. I mean, talking about passions in life. That is the passion that I discovered. So for anyone out there who's listening to anyone who says don't follow your passion, tell them to go to hell, because that's the worst career advice ever. Please sit down. It is the worst, because you know what? Fishing, you can be passionate about fishing, but that could become a hobby. Never stop fishing. It has a purpose.
Yeah.
But for your working career, man, find something you're passionate about. If you don't, man, you're just going to have a job and you're going to complain and it's going to suck.
Yeah.
So that's my advice to folks who are drinking hey, don't follow your passion. Just go for the cash advice.
Right. Absolutely.
There you have it. Straight from the Milken Institute Global Conference, the 25th one.
Wow. So what would you say the highlights have been from the different sessions you've attended and people you've met?
Oh, geez, there's a lot. It's funny. This particular conference, the theme is about connectivity.
Okay.
And so a lot of what people are talking about is the need, this realization that we needed connectivity and we needed to communicate and we needed new modalities of experiences and we needed to, basically create a new fabric and I know you hate that term fabric, for society. I mean, this stuff was quite honestly just over the air. It's over the air society. We couldn't be face to face. We couldn't be physically in proximity to each other. And then, of course, that impacted everything, right? And then, of course, they're talking about supply chain and, the impacts there.
Right.
And let me see. So, yeah, man, it was...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on, but a lot of it is centered around connectivity.
Right,
yeah.
Right. Connectivity is kind of a thing, isn't it? And there's Bill.
Yeah. Where is he?
I see him. He's here. He's on the screen.
Oh, there. Okay, Darth Vader is here, but he's not on camera.
Well, he's on camera, whether you can see it or not. He is actually.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, there he is. See, you got to roll with that deep Darth Vader voice that you got to trigger the AI.
That's the whole thing. I have to make that introduction.
Yeah.
There you go, brother.
Exactly. Well, welcome to Beverly Hills, Bill. Leonard's showing us how to do it.
I'm saying he's all suited up and everything, and looking like a professional.
How do you do that BTS thing? You know, like
Hell.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See, that's called acting the fool in front of people that you shouldn't be acting a fool in front of.
Yeah, this could be.
Well, I mean, a lot of them do it as a profession.
Good point. There you go.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So hey, there's a lot of stuff that you guys will find really interesting. People tossing around all the technical buzzwords that we live and breathe every day. Lots of talk about smart cities, how do we digitally fortify and augment our society and infrastructures and businesses, economies, all the stuff that we talk about. A lot of high level stuff. But there's a lot of opportunity to inform. Let's put it that way. Very nicely.
Sounds to me like there's a lot of lyrical linguistics going on over there.
What was that?
There's a lot of lyrical linguistics going on over there.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, digital twin. It's like, wait a minute. So I was thinking, okay, Rob, Bill, you guys might want to chime in here, but of course, you guys are not here.
Yeah, we should be there. It sounds like they're talking at a high level about stuff we talk about every day, and how much they need that stuff, and how much they want to hire Bill and Rob to come implement this stuff for a spare $1 billion.
Billion, yeah. But that's what it is. It's you guys need to correct them before they wreck themselves. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Right? They have to correct themselves before they wreck themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They're all talking based on some leaflet they read about the metaverse, and they're all in. Yeah.
And that's the really, so here's a key aha that I got. So I sat on a couple of these metaverse Web3 sessions, and man, it's just Web3. I will tell everyone out there right now, all that is sticking another layer of lipstick on top of the crypto pig. That is literally, I'm sharing my table with these folks, but they do not realize that I'm super annoying, and they're probably but it's just putting lipstick on a crypto pig. And so these discussions devolve back into a discussion around Bitcoin. So there's really nothing there. I'm sorry, folks. As much as you think that Web3 is the next blah, 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 at the moment, it is just packaging and branding of crypto. That's it.
So I seem like we got the quote of the day from Leonard Lee. Web3 is just putting lipstick on the crypto pig, folks.
There you go.
There you go. I thought it was power to the people, but what do I know?
Yeah, dude, think about it, man. What do people talk about? Oh, it's democratizing this, it's providing access to this, and it's going to provide equity, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, it's the most unequitable thing, and probably has reached a level of inequity faster than any system ever conceived, right? I mean, when we think about the crypto world, the power is held by a small fraction of the people who own these cryptos or hold these cryptos. How is that equitable? And
Yeah.
you know, and to tell people that, oh, you know what, this is a great way of making.
And you just froze.
That's gonna, I mean, to suggest that this is how you should invest and grow your personal wealth and assets going forward is super disingenuous. And I think this is really dangerous stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, the cool thing is there's financial institution folks who get it, which is a nice thing. And they will tell, they make it very clear that any fiduciary should not be recommending this stuff.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
I have fundamentals. It has no fundamentals.
Yeah, I saw people coming on. I saw people bashing Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett because they were saying Bitcoin and crypto has no fundamentals and there's no way they'd invested it. And they're like, oh, they're a couple old guys and
old guys.
They're late to the party. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, yeah, these old guys seem to be doing pretty good.
Well, I mean, you know, same with SPACs. People were going, oh yeah, SPACs are everything. Oh, you know, no one's going to IPO anymore. And then you have a bunch of dumb shits, you know, go around peddle this trash. And
yeah. I just want to remind our audience. Yeah. Speaking of the word, you said disingenuous about Web3. I think that's right on the money. We've talked about this before. Just to remind everyone, Web3 was invented by the same guy who invented Ethereum. And and when he invented Web3, he says that it will use Ethereum instead of proprietary databases that Facebook and Google have. And so don't think for a second that it's truly power to the people. He's trying to pump up Ethereum by using Web3. So don't buy into the bullshit, people, because that's what it is.
And here's another term that people should learn because they do not understand it. Because they don't understand this thing called governance. There's this term called conflict of interest. Learn that. We don't, not enough people understand what that is, and we allow conflicts of interest to inject a high degree of risk in a lot of things. And that's, and the reason why a lot of people get away with this stuff is because people just don't understand this idea of conflict of interest. And, you have conflict of interest, and then at some point it turns into corruption. And that's why we try to prevent conflicts of interest from playing themselves out. You know what I'm saying? But, if you're going to do it, you disclose. It doesn't mean that it's illegal. And, there's folks that will suggest that, well, if you're accusing me of conflict of interest, that means you're saying that I committed crimes. Like, no, you have a relationship that is a conflict of interest, and you need to disclose it so that other people can understand your position and they can treat you accordingly. That's all it is.
I don't know.
And that's lame, man.
I have real issues with the whole crypto concept, world, business proposition, investment mechanisms, all of that. I have issues with it across the board. And every time I talk to a crypto expert that tells me about how much money they have, and I'm like, can we go to the bank and pull any of that out right now? Can we do that? Because if we can do that, then that means that the rest of the machine has figured it out. But you can't. Well, I have a digital wallet. Okay, well, so do I. It's called a cell phone with my charge card on it.
There you go.
Boom. Yeah. All I know is my Coinbase wallet has done nothing but go down since about last December or so with all the crypto I have. While everyone's pumping it and hyping it. And I'd say in the last few months, I've heard more financial companies putting commercials on TV and the radio and everywhere about now you can trade crypto in your 401k and your retirement and stuff like that. I'm just like, what?
Yeah. No. It's out of control, man. I mean, okay, so getting off of crypto, because I don't want to give it any more attention. I'm sure you guys don't want to either. But the other thing that we've been talking about quite a bit is, like the digital transformation stuff, which is interesting. And so, yeah, I hung out with Cristiano. I'm on the CEO of Qualcomm, and also Darius Adamchuk of Honeywell. And I shook hands with Porat, the CFO of Alphabet as well. So that was kind of cool.
Wow.
It's rare to kind of see those types of celebrities up on, industry celebrities up there on a stage where, it's not like a gigantic conference like CES, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's probably like, maybe, I don't know, 1,500 people here. It's not like, it's just in a hotel, and the Hilton Beverly is really not that big.
So what was the highlight from talking to Cristiano?
Oh, with him, it was interesting. They had a really cool session. A lot of what they were talking about was digital transformation and how it enabled a lot of resiliency, and like what we were talking about earlier, it allowed companies, people to connect with each other when the mode of people, just having relationships and being in organizations and being in society was completely disrupted, right? And how when we think about digital transformation, I mean, my takeaway with this is we shouldn't think of digital transformation as a journey, rather than it's achieving certain sets of capabilities that are enabled by technology, right? And we need to understand that the role of technology and what digital transformation is, which is these are new capabilities that we're building, and we have to do it continuously because technology is slowing down, right? So we have this mindset that we there's some end state to quote unquote digital transformation. There isn't. And the primary driver for that is, on one hand, technology, the constant progression and acceleration of technology. And the other is the competitive element. So whoever is basically innovating and building out business capabilities faster than the next, they're going to be more competitive, right? And so when we bring it up to like the macro level, like a lot of topics are related to macroeconomic stuff, and we start to look at the competitiveness of nations and economies, that becomes super important, right? And so when we start to think about, when we think about digital transformation, we shouldn't just think solely in terms of our business ourselves. We have to really look at it from the standpoint of this bigger picture, which is competitiveness. And so whether it's like our workforce, our industries, our government, or whatever, that's like kind of mindset that I think we need. And that's my takeaway. You know what I'm saying? Being here and listening in all these different types of discussions, because there's a lot of different, this is not a tech conference, right? But there's tech, geopolitics, finance, investment, all kinds of crazy stuff that I'm usually not involved in. And you get some insights that you won't get anywhere else, or you can probably get some other places, but these are, I think, rare opportunities. This conference presents a rare opportunity to have those different types of, be exposed to those different perspectives in one place. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool. You got Deepak Chopra, come on, man. He friggin', he just likes his chair and makes everything come together. You know?
That's awesome. Hopefully he was flowing some love into all those sharks that are swimming around in that pool of money where you're at there.
Well, you know what?
That
The funny
is.
thing is, as I was saying that, he might be around. I saw him earlier. He was going by the buffet.
That is interesting, because that is definitely a place that we should be, because it is oftentimes siloed, right? You have tech conferences, then you have the other conferences, then you have the other conferences, and none of them ever come together.
And those communities don't. And what they do is they do this all the time, and they can't speak to the same. I mean, people talking about digital twins here. It's like, what do you think? No, that's not even what it is, I mean, it's like, I mean, you have to have like sort of this, diverse and integrated conversation, not just discussions and debates, not even just people from the same industry. It's kind of about, like, the thing about like interest rates, everyone's talking about, inflation. That's another big topic. It's like all the finance guys, they point their fingers at the Fed, but then you go over to the industry side, they're talking about supply chain. They're talking about structural shocks to global trade and supply chain. And it's like over on this side, these guys are just pointing the finger at the Fed, because you know what? Their whole world is about monetary policy. That's like that's just the way they think, and they're not going to deal with the complexities of what does it mean to have a disrupted or structurally shifting supply chain, global supply chain. They don't give a crap about that. But that doesn't mean that lens is correct. You know what I'm saying? In terms of policy, when we think about policies and solutions, and the big question is, how do we adapt? How do we adapt and do it in a way that's not going to garner even more inflation? Because you know what? They seem to want to blame the Fed, but not acknowledge that we also have fiscal side issues, as well as trade and policy issues that are making us pay. They have a cost associated with them, and the inflation is the price that all of us have to pay. But you need to either commit to that and shut up and pay up, or we need to go back to the people who created the mess and say, hey, look, this is a bad policy, and we shouldn't do this. And if you keep advocating for this, we don't want it because we need to pay. But I think that one of the problems, and somebody brought this up, is that when we skirt our accountability, we don't recognize that there's this whole topic of inflation is very complex, but there's an element where we need to basically suck it up and say, look, we had a pandemic. It overran us. We had to shut our economy down. It seems like some people have forgotten that. Our GDP went down the toilet, and then it went back up, which was not a full. Think about it. We lost growth, and then that shot back up was just getting back to where we were before, but not fully recovering. Right? We're still recovering.
Well, the Fed learned some tricks, and they came up with a lot of clever ideas back in 2008 when we had the financial crisis. Yeah. And part of that was how to flood the economy with cheap money, and to try to keep things going. And that's exactly what they've done throughout the pandemic. Is they've just been flooding the economy, M2, whatever, with money. And you know what? A flashback to one of our favorite movies, Wall Street. There's a scene where, Hal Holbrook's talking to Bud Fox, saying too much cheap money floating around. Worst thing we ever did was getting off the gold standard in '72.
Yeah. Let me give you a quote. There is this one quote. Yeah, when there is zero cost to capital. Yeah. Dreams are unlimited. That was my favorite quote So you know how I talk about often, just cost of capital going to zero. A lot of these companies that are .com. I mean, that was the whole thing. They're basically engineered to somehow garner zero cost of capital, and a lot of that is driven by speculative investments, right? Right, whether it's private or in the public market, and when that happens, yeah, you can come up with all kinds of crazy projects. You can use all kinds of money. Dreams are unlimited, but as soon as that tap gets cut off, what happens to that concern? And or what happens to that market? What happens to that economy? And I thought that was a super, super cool quote that came out.
Well,
I want to get the name of the guy who said it.
When the cost of capital goes to zero, that's the same as having a pile of cash laying on the ground with a sign pointed at it, come take me, Think about how the VCs in the last several years have been pushing funds down to seed rounds and to pre-seed rounds that they normally would not have touched years past. It's because the cost of capital has gotten so low. They're funding rounds that normally we would consider friends and family rounds, and they're just, let's go after it. Let's take a chance. So a lot of it is, obviously the VC world is a dice roll, and you hope that 1 out of 10 is going to knock it out of the park. But going after these pre-seed things, like a lot of them are doing, it is just like, let's just sprinkle cash all over the place because the cost of capital is so low.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what was his name? That was just such a clutch, beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll find it. I have so many notes. It's like ridiculous. Here's the other thing. No, I gotta tell you this, dude. You're gonna love it. So I went to an AI session with former Google CEO Eric Schmidt, right? He tells me, he tells the audience, it's like he wants AI to be modeled on Western values, and then he says, I don't want it to be based on surveillance. And I was like, okay, hello. What makes you think Western values bring about the surveillance we have today, the digital surveillance we have today? I thought that was just a really super ironic comment that was made. And I don't know. But I thought it was ironic, but it's a great thing to reflect on, because we promote a surveillance. There's that professor at Harvard talking about surveillance economy. We live in a corporate surveillance society.
If you are in any way, shape, or form digitally connected to the rest of the world, you're being surveilled. Period. That's it.
Yeah.
You sign up to it. But hey, fellas, I have to jump to another call. But I will be in touch. Leonard, you're looking good, man.
I know.
It looks like he's a correspondent for CNBC doing a live feed, for Squawk Talk or
something.
Squawk on the street or whatever.
I need to step up my game.
No, I got to wear funky socks, man.
That's good.
Oh, that part's good.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Shoes, goofy shoes are out. It's all about the socks.
I hope you're wearing some nice.
Bill.
Adios, Bill. Oh my gosh! Yes, I hope you're wearing some nice, beautiful Ferragamo shoes with your funky socks.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That here I have the shoes.
Good.
I don't have the socks, but I think I'm gonna buy some pink socks.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think you should. I think that there are some nice stores that you could visit nearby where you are now to hook you up with all the gear that you need on Rodeo Drive.
Oh yeah. No, wait. It's Rodeo Drive. Come on, man. What's Rodeo? Come on.
That's what they call it in Beverly Hills, bro. That's not right, but that's what they call it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. It's kind of ridiculous. Dude, you do look like a correspondent, for CNBC.
Don't encourage people.
Maybe that'll be your next career.
Yeah, but that's the thing that I keep telling people. Under the radar. What I'm saying. Don't encourage people. Oh my God! They can start. Is it loud?
Yeah. We probably should shut it down.
Yeah. Hey, but that was fun. I'm glad that we jumped on, and we have a Milken Institute episode now.
Yes,
right,
I can
brother.
see right behind you there. It looks like some people are sitting down for a talk on the screen behind you.
We're going to wrap it up. So thanks to everyone who made it this far in this episode. This is Leonard Lee reporting from the Milken Institute Global Conference 2022. This is their 25th conference, and that is not my show. So we have to wrap up our show. And we will see you next week. Remember, subscribe and like. And follow us at www.iotcoffeetalk.com. And we will see you on CNBC, MSNBC, and Fox Business, baby.
Have a great one, bro.
All right. See you, man.
Adios.